So if you're looking to buy a Onewheel but you don't know if the price is worth it or not, stick around because today we are reviewing the Onewheel Pint. Let's go. So real quick, if you're new to the channel, we do a lot of tech reviews, unboxings, camera stuff, camera gear, all that different type of stuff. So if you like this type of videos, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. In this review, I basically broke down the Onewheel into like a bunch of different parts. So I got everything on my phone right here, so I'm actually gonna read it off. So unboxing, features, approachability, performance, durability, and last, accessories. So we're gonna break all these different things down and get to the review. So unboxing, the unboxing experience, the shipping experience, how long does it take to get, all that different type of stuff. So actually I bought the pint right when it came out. So it actually took a little bit of time from the time that I purchased the product until the time I actually got it because they had to postpone it. And I think I didn't end up getting mine until like March, and I actually ordered it like much earlier in the year. So they postponed it a couple months or whatever because it took quite a while. They had to like, I don't know, they said they had to build a whole new facility and all that stuff. But right now today, if you bought a pint, they ship it from stock, and I think it ships within a couple of days. So within a week, you'll have your pint. So from the time purchase, you know, like standard shipping's like 5-6 days, 5 to 7 days or whatever it is. And then they do free shipping as well. So they do like FedEx, UPS shipping. So it's free, buy a board, it's free shipping, 5 to 7 business days ground, and you'll have your board. Not too bad. For me, like I said, it took a while because I bought it when it was brand new and none of the boards had been released. They wasn't even finished yet. So that's why it took a while for me. But the actual unboxing experience is pretty good. From getting the box looks really nice. It's really well packaged. It's got a lot of cool pint graphics on there. The box looks really sweet and it feels sturdy enough to actually keep, because in the future, if I needed to have a service, I need a battery change, need a tire change or something like that, I want to keep that box to ship it back. And it feels like a nice, like a sturdy enough box to be able to do that. And overall, it was just generally a good unboxing experience. I can't unbox it for you today because I've had the thing for a couple of years now, so that sucks. But they'll just take it from me and anybody else. There's tons of unboxings for the pint out there on YouTube. So just go check out unboxing video out. Very cool. And if you're hyped about the Onewheel, you're excited to get it, you're gonna be excited opening up the box. The unboxing experience is pretty good. So overall, shipping, unboxing, all this stuff is a really good experience. All right, next up is features. So there's a whole list of features that this board has. If you go to the site, it's gonna give you like the general, like basically what you're gonna base your purchase off of, whether you get the XR or you get the pint. But if you're looking at the pint, I just wrote all the features that I can think of down from the site and from my brain from looking at the board. So I'm gonna read them off right here. So we got 6 to 8 mile range off of one charge. And that is actually, I found that that's on the low side. So when I charge up all the way, say I charge overnight, wake up in the morning and I go ride, depends on what I'm riding on, like 6 to 8 mile range. I think they're counting in like if you're off-roading, riding through grass, dirt, trails. But if you're riding mostly like streets, sidewalks, inside the city limits or at a park on sidewalks, you're gonna get more than 8 miles. I rode easily 10 miles on my board and still had like 40%, 30% battery life before. And that was because I was doing all road, not a lot of hills. So depending on where you're riding, if you're doing a lot of off-roading, a lot of uphills, a lot of that type of stuff that's gonna be harder on the battery, yeah, you're probably only gonna get like 6 to 8 miles out of it. But good thing is it's rated for the low side. So it's not like they're over promising, which is a feature that I really like. It goes 16 miles an hour. So that's the top speed. And when I'm going down the road and I'm really punching it, right around like the 13, 14 mile an hour mark is when I feel like I'm really flying. And with the smaller tire too, sometimes it can get a little squirrely when you get up to that speed. So I think 16 miles an hour is a really good top speed. So yeah, it goes 16 miles an hour. It's got a 750 watt hypercore motor. So this motor is actually what drives the whole system, and it's made by Onewheel. It's like their invention or whatever. It's what makes the whole machine go, and it's actually in the middle of the wheel, which is a pretty sweet design. Indicator light. So it's got an LED indicator light like right on the top of the front foot pad. So it'll tell you a bunch of different things, including how charged it is. It'll tell you what side of the pressure pad is being engaged, if only one is or if both are. It'll also tell you like if you put simple stop on or off. When you change different shaping modes, the color will change. And when you're actually on the board, it'll tell you how much your board is actually charged at like low speeds. It doesn't do it at high speed because they set it to where when you start getting high speed, the light automatically goes off because they don't want you to be looking at the light and see how much charge you got when you're flying 16 miles an hour and hitting somebody. Yeah, so it's got a pressure sensing pad in the front. So the pressure sensor pad is pretty cool. It's got 2 different zones. So it's making sure that you have even pressure on the foot pad before it starts leveling you out. If you don't have even pressure, the board's not gonna engage. But if you're already going and you let go with your heel or your toe, the board's gonna kick off as well. So you have to have even pressure, but it's a very sensitive pad. So it's not like you have to be like stomping down on it. It's very cool, very premium. So the foot pads themselves are made of plastic. If you look at the XR on their website, the XR is actually made of wood, so it's higher quality. But you can get sure stance pads for the Pint and upgrade that for a little bit. I think I can't remember, for like 75 bucks for the sure stance pads for the Pint, and then those are made out of wood, so they're better quality, last longer, all that. And it's got grip tape on it, so you're not slipping around. I really like riding this barefoot. The grip tape's not too rough on your feet, and it actually gives you really, really good control. LED reversible lights. So it's got headlights and taillights on the board, and you can actually turn them off in the app if you choose to. But it's pretty cool because if, say you're going forward, the board knows you're going in one direction, it's gonna make the headlights the direction you're going. So I'm going this way, it's gonna make this side of the board the headlights for me. The back side is gonna be red for the taillights. But if I don't have simple stop on, or if I choose to go the other way, I start rolling back, driving the other way, then the lights automatically change. So the light that was the tail light automatically switches to white lights, and those are my headlights now, which is pretty sick. Simple stop, so I've referred to it a couple of times. Simple stop is basically the technology that they came out with to make the board more approachable. So with the XR, when they came out with the XR, it didn't have a way to really like dismount or like properly dismount off the board, especially like, so it's kind of scary if you're new to the Onewheel and you get on it and all of a sudden like you try to get off and you can't because every way you lean is trying to go that way. Simple stop makes it to where if you start leaning back on the board, then the board thinks you want to get off and it starts to disengage and it just lowers you down to the ground, which is a pretty sick feature, especially for new people. Mag handles. This is an awesome feature that they released with the Pint. They didn't have it for the XR until they came out with a Pint, and they were so popular on the Pint that they made them for the XRs. But yeah, the mag handle is just simply a magnetic handle that is on the side of the Pint, so that when you get off the board, if you need to carry it somewhere, carry it inside the house, inside your car, into your dorm room, into class, wherever you're taking the thing, into the gas station, you can grab the mag handle and you can carry it. And when you let go of it, it automatically goes back up because it's got a magnet in it. Hence the term mag handle. It's got a smaller tire than the XR does, and Onewheel actually makes this tire. It's a one-wheel tire. The larger board XR has a Vega tire, which is like a go-kart tire. The cool thing about the smaller tire is that you can actually carve a lot better. So at slower speeds, you have a lot more control, a lot more maneuverability, and you can curve around stuff much, much easier because it's a smaller tire. A little bit more round, so you can actually lean into your curves a little bit. And at slower speeds, you can carve, which is pretty sweet. The board is water and dust resistant, so if you're out there and you're riding and it rains, or you're on the beach, you're worried about sand and dust and dirt getting inside of it, it's water and dust resistant, so it's not waterproof. So if you dump it in the lake, there's no guarantee that it's gonna turn on, but it is water and dust resistant, so when you're riding, if it starts downpouring, you don't have to worry about the board just completely dying on you. If you are riding in the rain, or if you ride it into a puddle or into a lake, don't immediately put it back on the charger. Wait like a day or whatever, try to let the board dry out and then plug it in, because if you plug it in while it's wet, that's where you're gonna have your problems probably. So they have a crap ton of custom accessories that you can get for the Onewheels, and we'll talk more about the accessories later, but you can get them in tons of different colors and you can make the board custom the way you want it to look. There's no remote, which is pretty sick. So if you're familiar with like boosted boards, they have like this little remote, or like any other electric skateboard you've ever seen, they have like this little remote that you gotta hold onto to control the speed and the braking and all that. These don't have that. It's just they are completely based on your motion, and your body is the controller basically. So when you lean forward, it goes forward, you lean back, it goes back. Whatever way you point your shoulder, essentially, that's the way you're gonna turn. So it's pretty sweet. Don't have to hold anything extra in your hands. And it's kind of a cool feature too, because it almost makes it to where your brain's connection to the board, I don't know, it's hard to describe, but it almost makes it feel like the board is a kind of part of you. So you can just be on the board, look to where you wanna go, and then you go there as fast as you want and slow down. And I don't know, it's a pretty sick feature. It's a very unique feel, the Onewheel is. There's no other product out there like it, which obviously they know that because they charge a lot of money for it. And last but not least in the features is the shaping mode. So they have 4 different shaping modes. If you get the XR, they have 6 shaping modes. Basically what a shaping mode is they compare it to like snowboarding, I think, or surfing or something like that, but they have different shapings for the board. They're digital shapings. So if you go on the app, they have 4 different shapings. They have like Redwood, Pacific, Skyline, and I don't know, something else. And they all do something different, and they make the board behave different depending on what mode you have it in. So Skyline is supposed to be like your like maxed out version. It'll go the fastest. Basically, that's the mode you're gonna put it in if you're gonna be doing a lot off-roading. Then they have a shaping mode called Elevated, and what it does is the nose of the board will elevate just a little bit. So if you know you're hitting a lot of trails or bumps or going up a lot of hills where you don't want the front end of the board hitting all the time, you can choose the elevated shaping mode, and it'll keep the board like this all the time, so that you're gonna take those hills and those bumps easier. So shaping modes, it's pretty cool. It's pretty, most of them, I gotta be honest, the only things I see that, the only shaping modes I can tell a difference with is the beginner mode, which is like the Pacific mode, where it kind of tops you out at 12 miles an hour. So most people that want to try out my board, I put it in Pacific just because it's more forgiving, and then the top out speed isn't as high. So if they do go crazy, it's not gonna go that fast. Elevated, obviously you can feel the difference because the nose is always up like this. And then Skyline is, I mean, you can rip around with Skyline. It's pretty nice, especially if you're on on like flat pavement. It goes pretty quick, and the one wheel is pretty punchy. So, all right guys, so there are all the features. I probably have them listed right here somewhere, hopefully. Future me, make sure you put them all right there. All right, next section is approachability. So what we're talking about here is how approachable is the board for somebody who's brand new, who's never seen a Onewheel Pint before. If somebody walks up to the board, how likely are they to be able to get on the board or even want to get on the board and want to start learning how to one wheel? So first of all, the Onewheel Pint is smaller. So it's much smaller than the XR. It's like 4 pounds lighter. The tire itself is actually much smaller. It's a little bit more rounded. With a feature like Simple Stop, it makes it easier to get off the board after you're already on it, which definitely makes it more approachable. The top speed is only 16 compared to the 19 miles an hour for the XR, so already much more approachable, especially for younger kids or for older adults even, or people who are just wanting to get into it that really don't want to fly that fast. You know, somebody who's a beginner that doesn't want to go 20 miles an hour, the Pint's gonna be perfect for that. And the learning curve for the one wheel is, I mean, it's pretty small. So literally, you teach somebody how to get their foot even on the front pad. You teach them how to hop up and teach them the controls. You just lean forward, lean back, lean left, lean right, lean back to stop, and that's it. And so, I mean, the learning curve is pretty darn small. And in my opinion, the board is very, very approachable, and which I'm sure is what Future Motion was going for when they released the Pint, because the one wheel was pretty popular. The Onewheel XR was pretty popular. And then when they released the Pint, it's just like, phew, they exploded, and one wheels are everywhere. And even in smaller towns, we live in a smaller town, and we see people here with one wheels all the time. So like I said, in my opinion, it is pretty darn approachable. So if you are watching this video right now, still trying to decide whether or not you want to learn how to do it, you want to buy it, you want to learn how to ride it, it is very approachable. All right, next up is performance. How does the board perform? How does it respond? Is it slow? How does it feel? Overall performance. So I'm just gonna try to go down a list of things that kind of stick out in my mind as far as the performance of the board between battery life and how it rides, how it feels, all these different things. To just kind of give you a general idea of what the overall performance is. And like I said, I've had it for a couple of years. I've had it since it came out, and honestly, I love the board. So performance, the board's pretty punchy. It's a smaller board. I'm 200 pounds, and when I hop on that thing and just get after it, it doesn't take long for that thing to get up to speed. It's very, very punchy. It crushes hills very well. The motor on that thing has got really, really good power. So like I said, I'm a couple 100 pounds, and even when I'm on a pretty steep hill, going uphill, it doesn't have any problem taking me up that hill, even in the grass. So it can ride all different types of terrain. The only thing that I found had a problem with is like really loose sand, but compact sand on the beach I've ridden, like gravel, dirt trails, roads, sidewalks. I've taken off of curbs, all the different types of stuff that you can't ride a skateboard in all these different types of terrains like you can on one wheel. So it's pretty cool, pretty unique. And yeah, you can take the thing anywhere. The foot pads on it are a little bit small. It's a smaller board, smaller wheel, so everything's smaller on it. I've never ridden the XR, but I have pretty big feet. They're not huge feet, but I have pretty big feet. And so I find that the foot pads are just a little bit small for my liking. My toes are kind of like always hanging off the edge. So, I mean, I don't know how they would change that without changing the overall width of the board. So that's not a complaint, but just, you know, in general performance wise, for me personally, somebody who has larger feet, the foot pads feel a little bit small, but they're not uncomfortable either. So they're not so small that you feel like you're gonna fall off. But for somebody with larger feet, that is something to think about. It's very, like I said before, it's punchy, it's very responsive, so it's slow when you want it to be, has great control on the slower speeds, and then it's also fast, it's very responsive. When you want to punch it, it just gets up and goes. So especially if it's like on a fresh charge and you're just getting on it off a fresh charge, it's like that thing, it's got some power to it. It's pretty impressive. The battery life is great. I haven't seen any like degrading of the battery life. I have gone through periods too, where like over a winter time where it's like months of not being used or not being charged, which they say you want to charge it up at least once a month if you're not using it like through the winter time. I haven't seen any performance drop from my battery. In the app, they don't really have like a way to tell that, like the degradation of your battery, how much is able to how much charge is able to hold now compared to when you bought it. So they don't have a feature like that in the app, which would be pretty cool. But like I said, I've had it for a couple years and I haven't noticed any significant drop in battery life. The indicator light that's on the front foot pad that tells you battery life and pressure sensitivity and all that, it's cool. It's a cool feature. It's not my favorite feature. The thing that bothers me the most about it is that if I want to like go on a night ride or just ride for a couple minutes at night at any time, that indicator light is so bright that like I turn the board on and it's just like bing, and you can hardly see where you're trying to put your foot because the stinking light is so bright. So that is a bit annoying. And then the other thing about like riding at night, the headlights that are built in are cool feature, especially from a safety standpoint. If you are night riding, somebody can see you easier. But from a riding perspective, performance perspective, it doesn't shine out very well. So the XR's headlights, from what I've seen online anyway, work pretty well. But if you wanted to night ride a lot with the Pint, I wouldn't even go for the Pint, honestly. I would just go for the XR. If you know where you're riding, like you're riding in your neighborhood, and you know where all the potholes and stuff like that are, but normally I wouldn't do a whole lot of night riding with the Pint. It does have a headlight on there, which is cool, and other people can see you easier. But for actually being able to see stuff that's out in front of you at night, it's not very good for that. It's not very bright. My only other complaint with the board would be that sometimes the motor has this weird little moan to it right when I hop on the board, and then when the board's dying, it gets a little bit worse. But it's nothing that does it all. It doesn't do it all the time, and it's not like a huge issue. It's just something that I noticed. Overall, great performance. All right, next up is durability. So I haven't like taken this thing and tossed off a cliff or nothing crazy. I've let other people ride it. Other people have crashed on it. I've fallen down on it. It's ran into trees, it's ran into curbs, it's rolled down hills. It's got a bunch of scrapes and scratches on it. Just when we were up north on vacation a couple of weeks ago, we're at the beach. And I was trying to get off the board by the showers, and I slipped, and the board just went sailing straight into the rocks and hit this rock like real hard, and it just fell over. It was perfectly fine. Just had a little bit of scratches on the front bumper, but that was it. So overall, the durability has been fantastic. I've had zero issues. Anytime somebody's fallen on it, or it's rolled down the hill, or I've fallen on it and it's hit something, I've never had it power off or something. Durability, really, really good. All right, accessories. So like I said earlier, the Future Motion has a bunch of different accessories for the Onewheels, including like stands and bags and car stands so that it's not rolling around in your car, but just some of the general accessories that you can get for your board to customize it, because earlier we were talking about customizing the look of your board. They got foot pads, rail guards, fenders, bumpers, and handles. The handles are the mag handles. You can get those in all different colors. So yeah, rail guards you can get in all different colors, including clear. So if you like the color that you bought the board with, you can get clear rail guards, which right now I have clear rail guards on my Onewheel right there, and I actually have the sand version. So it's got like this, it's like the rails are like this sand color. And right now you can get like sand and slate, which slate's basically like black or like a dark gray. And when they came out with it, you could have got like those two colors, or sage, which sage is like a military green. But I'm pretty sure you can't get that anymore because there's a limited edition, like a launch day type of color thing. So you can only get two colors. But the upside to that is, like I said, with all the accessories, they have like boatloads of different options and looks that you can get out of your board. So all the foot pads, between the foot pads, you can keep the stock ones that are on there, the plastic ones with the black trim, or you can get the Sure Stance Pro foot pads for the Pint, and they're all wood and they look a little bit more high quality. And then the rail guards, the fenders, bumpers, and the handles, all of those you can get in whatever color you want. They have like, I don't know how many different colors they have, but just I'll show on the screen right here all types of accessories and what different types of colors you can get with each accessory. Right now mine has I have clear rail guards on, and then I have tan, I think it's called tan. Anyway, like basically like brown, like a brown fender and brown bumpers with mine. So it's kind of got, I was telling my wife the other day, I'm gonna start calling my Onewheel Dwight, because the color scheme I got going over here is like Dwight from The Office. So all I need to do is throw like a mustard t-shirt over it, and we're good. Me and Dwight just go sailing off into the sunset. Accessories, like I said, they have loads of different options between all the different types of accessories, and then the colors with the accessories, you can get whatever kind of look you want. If you want a streamlined look, you want a blacked out look, you want like color crazy look, military look, whatever kind of look you want, you can get it because of all the different color options with the accessories. We're at the end of the video now. The part where I tell you if I would buy it again or not, if I recommend you buy the Onewheel Pint? And my answer is yes, obviously. The Onewheel is such a unique product that it's really hard to ride this thing and be like, yeah, don't buy it. It's so much fun. Even like, so this board right now, I think it retails at $950, just the board, no fenders or anything. $950 for the board. And then if you want like a fender, they have different packages you can buy them, or bundles that they call them, that you can buy to get different accessories for like a little bit cheaper. But generally, for the Pint, you're spending $1,000. If you're getting the Onewheel XR, you're spending $2,000. Like I said, the product is so unique. It's so much fun to ride that you're really not gonna regret it. Unless, you know, you don't like having fun or something weird like that. I would definitely recommend this board to anybody, including you who's watching this. And while I'm at it, thank you for watching this video. Thanks for stopping by. I really, really appreciate it. And like I said at the beginning of the video, if you like this kind of stuff, if you like tech reviews, if you like camera reviews, all those different types of stuff, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you like this video, please make sure you like, share, and comment on the video. If you have any questions or concerns or anything Onewheel related or whatever related, you got a comment. I answer all the comments on all my videos, so make sure you leave a comment. And please consider subscribing. I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.